Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to the Pandora Directive, where last time we found ourselves on the path of someone who refers to themselves as the Black Arrow Killer. Emily, probably the worst actor in this game, received a letter from the Black Arrow Killer telling her that he takes pictures and to be afraid. Apparently, Lucia Purnell of the Bay City Mirror was tracking him prior to this. She seems to be the one in the know. So let us not give her a call. Let us travel? Let's talk to Max, see if he can give us...
Find out anything else about that note you brought in here?
Some, but I'll give you the details later when I got some extra time. I came by to get some more information from you.
Let's see if he knows anything about Lucia Purnell.
She's a crime reporter for the Bay City Mirror. If anything, she's more irritating than you are.
I don't know if that helped us. Who do I think would actually know her phone number or address? Let's start making our rounds.
What can I do for you, Murph?
Louis. Do you happen to know?
Sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it.
That's fine. That's fine.
I can't imagine why you don't get as tired of bothering me as I get tired of you coming in here. So what do you want now?
Do you happen to know?
I remember Lucia Purnell. Quite a strong-willed young woman. She works for the Bay City Mirror and came to interview me right after my shop was broken into. I have her business
As seen in
card
Under
here
a Killing
if
Moon.
You want to contact her.
I was not expecting that to be so easy from Rook. Let us go back to the Ritz, to Tex's office. But actually, I suppose that makes sense plot-wise. Because he would actually have a reason to know who Lucia is and how to contact her. So, do I have a physical card? Yes, I do. That's kind of a neat little logo, but I don't know if I... Like, it's kind of odd at the same time. Lucia Purnell. Also, being able to play this game without
This is a private number.
switching CDs is fantastic. Straight to the point?
Yeah, I know. This is Lucia Purnell, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm Purnell. Who are you?
Down to business.
My name's Murphy. I'm a PI, and I'm investigating a case you covered in the Bay City Mirror. The Black Arrow Killer.
Yeah? So are 1,000 other people. What makes you so special?
Well, my name is Tex Murphy, and the other people's names aren't.
I've got a note that might be from the Black Arrow Killer.
Okay, let's meet. I can tell you whether it's the real thing or not.
Recommend a local hangout?
I live in the old city on Chandler Avenue. There's a diner close by called the Brew and Stew. Let's meet there.
I know the place. I'll be there in 15 minutes. By the way, what did you say your name was?
Tex Murphy. That's T-E-X.
I got it.
All right. Set an appointment. Let us go there right now. We're not even going to wait 15 minutes. We're just going to go. Because that's how we roll. Time is a meaningless quantity to us.
Well, I hope I didn't take you away from anything important.
Nah, just a fight with my editor. Can't even remember what we argued about.
Well, don't worry, because I'm not here to start a fight.
Truth is, I piss people off, usually the wrong people.
Well, at least we got that in common.
Good. Now, you said you had a note?
Yeah.
He immediately finds his electronics shop credit card in one go. But evidence? Oh, who knows what pocket I put that in.
Where'd you get this?
I got it from a client.
Your client's in danger, Murphy. How much do you know about the Black Arrow Killer?
Killed a few people in the Southwest a couple of years ago, and then a girl around here got killed recently.
You know, Malden might know more than he's letting on. Then again, he might not. Of course, if he did, I doubt he'd tell you. He's not that stupid.
I'm not so sure about that. Look, why don't you fill me in on a few details, and then I can be certain.
It's a long story.
Come on over to the booth and hear me.
It's kind of interesting that the Black Arrow Killer gets so much of a focus, especially considering he's kind of
Slightly above average, aren't you?
Yeah,
unrelated to the
Well, we'll just have
main
to cut you down to
plot.
size, won't we?
He's just kind of there. But we'll get to that point later.
When the first bodies turned up in Arizona in the summer of '41, the local police tried to keep the story off the wires. They didn't want the bad publicity. Wasn't until
it's that
March
waitress
of
again.
42,
I thought I
when the
wouldn't see
victims
her
were
again.
found that the story really broke big. Turned out the killer in all 5 cases had the same MO. He sent notes to his victims before murdering them. I had a chance to see one of those notes. It was exactly like
Also,
this one.
I like the framing, but I don't
the
like the
Black
fact that
Arrow.
Louis and the
Right,
waitress
the
are
block
better
lettering,
lit
same
than
words, everything.
the main characters,
You probably know cases
than
like this
Tex
involve
and
copycat murders.
Lucia.
For that reason, the police didn't release copies of the notes to the media.
Well, so they could differentiate between the copycat killer and the real killer.
Exactly. Anyway, the Black Arrow Killer racked up 2 more victims in Nevada before the police finally caught up with him. At that point, the FBI moved in and media coverage evaporated. The name of the guy they arrested was Leroy Kettler. The night they booked him, he hung himself in his cell with a shoelace. Funny thing is, he was wearing cowboy boots.
Now that's a little hard to explain.
After things cooled off, I
Easy
went down there and
explanation.
interviewed
Leroy
a few
laced
people,
his cowboy boots.
including an inmate who told
He was
me
a special
that 2 men in
certain
suits
individual.
went to Kettler's cell the night before he hung himself. I'm pretty sure they were NSA.
NSA? What would the National Surveillance Agency be doing messing around with a serial killing case? More than that, why would they kill Kettler?
Maybe he was a fall guy. Or maybe Kettler really was the serial killer and the feds just didn't want the case resolved. Regardless, there was a cover-up.
Mac Malden said there was another case around here. How does that tie in?
It doesn't. The girl was a grad student at San Francisco Tech. There was no indication that she was receiving threatening notes, and there was nothing out of the ordinary before she was murdered. Oddly enough, the police found a note in her room. At that point, the feds moved in and took over.
That girl. What was her name?
Collins. Sandra Collins. You know something I ought to know?
Well, yes,
I'm not
but
sure.
Now, there's no chance that you can give me the name of your client.
You know I can't do that. But I'll tell you what. If I find out who's stalking my client, you're gonna get a scoop out of this.
That's a fair deal. By the way, have you heard of a place called Autotech?
Auto
Might
tech.
be worth checking into. Oh, and Murphy, one more thing. When I was following this story in Nevada, I met a guy just like you, a PI. He asked a lot of questions, too. A week later, he had a tag on his toe. Suicide, I think.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. Although,
Well,
like,
certainly gave me a lot to think about. What's the common denominator between Fitzpatrick, Malloy, Kettler, and this young woman, Sandra Collins? Too few details, too many implications. The bottom line is, whoever sent the note to Emily's for real, and she's in danger. Burnell mentioned a place called Autotech. Maybe that's a place to start.
although that's something this whole conversation raises. is, like, even though the Black Arrow Killer... who is this suspicious
Somebody just
individual?
jumped off the water tower on the roof of Rusty's funhouse. Dressed all in black. Maybe Emily wasn't just imagining that someone was watching her.
Oh, do I have a fax? So while the Black Arrow Killer himself may not be directly related to a lot of things, he is essentially a tool of the people in charge. And it also introduces the idea of government conspiracy. So we are going to be Auto Tech and the Man on the Roof.
The 60-day warning. Sounds like I got a message on the vid phone.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought it was a fax. I forgot that you have messages on your vid phone.
Hi, Tex.
That's Chelsea.
I just called to say that I'm off to Phoenix. I'm really sorry about the way I've been over the past few days. I guess I'm just having a hard time deciding on what I want right now. I'm going to take a break for a while, and I guess I'm going to try to figure out what's best for me. I'll give you a call soon and let you know how things are going. Bye.
Well, it's good to know Chelsea doesn't hate me after our little disagreement at the Flamingo. Maybe I still got a chance with her after all.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose delete all viewed messages. Where do we go now? Well, we can't go to Autotech yet because we don't know where it is. It's still... Oh yeah, we can go to the cabin. I forgot about that. The cabin that Malloy stayed at. I don't know if we can do anything there yet. But I do know that the plot wants us to go... to the roof of Rusty's Crab Shack. Let's go. There we go.
This ladder leads to the roof of the funhouse.
Oh, I could just have to walk over to the ladder to climb it. Let's see. Oh, what do we got here?
Somebody left their coat here. It sure doesn't look like it's been here very long. I wonder if this
And
jacket
inside
was
they
left by that
have
shadowy figure I saw
the
here
torn
earlier.
photograph,
Let's see what's in the pockets.
which I will then need to
Torn pieces
reassemble.
of a photograph. DH. Probably the monogram of the person I'm trying to find.
I forget what the H stands for. I want to say that the D stands for Doug. Alright, so this one, at the very least, it is a smaller photo. So it's not going to take quite as long. There we go. That's the right side that it's supposed to be on. But essentially, this is a photo of Autotech itself, which is very unassuming, just a random building on the side of the road. There's nothing particularly special about its appearance, which I would imagine is the point. You wouldn't necessarily want somebody to look at a building and say, that is a secret government installation. You want somebody to be able to look at a building and say, that building looks like nothing to me. Actually, that kind of goes in line with, I forget which of the Hitchhiker's Guide books offhand, but it's the worst of them. There's a Hitchhiker's Guide book where you find somebody who has this technology that allows him to make anything become invisible. And it doesn't become invisible through like camouflage, or should I say through making it invisible like the Predator or something. It becomes invisible by people just stop paying attention to it because it doesn't look important.
Looks like the exterior of Autotech, whatever that is. Well, Purnell seemed to think it was important. If I can examine this picture more closely, maybe I can find something that will help me figure out where this place is.
Yeah, I need to use technology to do that, unfortunately. And I believe I can't do anything up here because this place is locked.
Well, I won't be able to get into the water tower without a key.
And then... like, this area here is relatively unimportant at this time. Like, it becomes important later on, but for now it is just set dressing. Although, now that I think about it, it might be problematic by the time I actually need to go down here. So... I think I'm going to need to go to the electronics shop and buy stuff. The last time I was at the electronics shop, the only thing they had for sale was the battery pack for the Robco Alien Invader. Okay, so they don't have anything per se. Let us go to... let's go to Texas Computer Room. Maybe there's something I missed there. Laptop computers. Alright. Let's go to the cabin. See what's going on there. Maybe that'll help us. I don't think there's anything dangerous in the cabin. It's just another location.
David Wright's cabin is out in the middle of nowhere. The place appears to be totally abandoned. The door's unlocked, but as soon as I step inside, I sense something wrong. Like I'm just about to open a carton of milk that's been sitting out in the sun too long.
Something has been left to curdle. Huh. There's a CD.
Interesting. I bet this'll run on my computer back at the office. Interesting.
Actually, you know what? My paranoia has gotten the best of me. David Wright's cabin. Just in case.
The rag's got brown stains all over it. No, that's blood.
Is it Chris's blood?
Well, someone must have been here regularly because no one would have live plants if they weren't going to take care of them. These plants are so dried up, they must have been dead for a while. Whoever came through here to straighten up missed the lamp.
Ah, some notes.
These pieces of paper are wrinkled, as if they were wet at some time.
Wet from blood.
Those big red spots look like blood splatters. Bookcase doors. Interesting.
Alright, let's reposition ourselves so we're slightly closer and we can look inside.
These books look like they've been tossed around, like somebody was rifling through them.
That's true. You look at all the books on the shelf, and everything's kind of been shifted about. Anything of import? I don't think so. Oh, hold on. There is this thing.
Paper.
Another witness to the bizarre events of July 1947 may have been New Mexico Lieutenant Governor Joseph Montoya. According to sources close to Montoya, he visited the military base shortly after the UFO crash, and when speaking to friends soon after, he appeared very pale, almost white, shaking, and very, very scared after consuming a half-quart of whiskey. Montoya told friends that he had seen 4 little men. He described their size, short, skinny-like, facial features, big eyes. The mouth was real small, like a cut across a piece of wood, and went on to say that one was alive. While these excerpts of conversation are subjective and impossible to authenticate, they are one of thousands that indicate the fact that there was indeed a UFO crash, followed by a massive government cover-up. Puzzle of the month. Fill in the grid so there are 4 blue squares, 3 red, 3 white, 3 green, and 3 yellow. No horizontal, vertical, or diagonal row can have more than 1 square with the same color. Good luck. I don't think I really need to worry about that.
This must be Mr. Wright, the owner of the cabin. It's an interesting picture. Some sort of ancient temple. Nice supply of firewood. And this door's jammed shut.
Okay.
This window looks like it's been broken for a while. I'd guess the cabin's been unoccupied ever since, or someone would have covered the hole.
Hold on. Can I pick
Fireplace
that
tools
up?
are scattered all over the floor.
Alright, let's go up to the second floor.
This door's locked, and I don't see a place for a key. Must be hooked up to some type of keyless entry system.
Probably related to this horrible
Looks
portrait.
like a strange place to hang a painting. A security keypad. I guess whatever's behind the door must be important.
Do I have an answer to this riddle?
Well, this is certainly an interesting design. I wonder what type of symbols these are.
I don't know. Or how about... No, I don't know if there's a clue for this puzzle specifically here. One second while I take a look at my inventory. Actually, hold on. Let's head back to my office and take a look at what's on that CD.
This door now.
The unsettling music has followed me even back home to Tex's office. Oh, okay. This was that puzzle. Well, in order for the blue would be relatively easy. I would imagine. Nope, that did not work. One of these puzzles. Damn it. Also, I haven't even considered the fact that there are also white squares. Did it only say the way that puzzle worked was both hold on. Let's take a look at that crumpled page. No horizontal, vertical, or diagonal row can have more than one square of the same color. Alright. This is going to take a hot minute. So in that case, I've actually ruined the puzzle already because of my first assumption, which was that the blue would all be in one diagonal row. My first assumption would have been that, and clearly it is wrong. So that is obviously why that did not work out. So that would need to be... Let's see, how can I stack... Okay, yeah, there we go. And maybe something like that. Then maybe something like that. Oof, nope, I see a failure coming up real quick like. That is not better. That is actually much worse than what it was before. Alright, what can I move and where? I can move red there. Actually? Is that it? It's it! Fantastic! Alright. Let's draw this. We got grids, we got... So, there's one there, and one there. Okay. The Maya stand alone among early Mesoamerican cultures, as evidenced in the Dresden Codex, a native book of pictures with explanatory hieroglyphs. Portions of the Codex date back thousands of years, and some of the contents, such as tables predicting eclipses and tables on the cycles of the planet Venus, are highly scholarly and would have been meaningful only to trained astronomical experts. Third time was the charm. Their knowledge is even more amazing in light of the fact that all observations of Venus had to be done with the naked eye. The Maya knew with great accuracy the exact solar year, but rather than adjusting their calendar by adding extra days, as we do for a leap year, they added a correction formula that indicated how many days away from the correct seasonal position the 365-day calendar was at that particular time. The correction formula revealed an extremely accurate notion of solar phenomena. In fact, the Maya year was more accurate than our present Gregorian year, which was not introduced as a standard calendar in Western civilization until 1582, over 1,000 years later. Michael D. Coe found that the Mayan culture was intrusive. It appeared on the scene as a band of outsiders with a vastly superior civilization. Where did the outsiders come from? There is nothing we know that relates this culture to any other in the world. None of the artifacts found to date show evidence of Eastern Hemisphere origins. There has been much speculation about the origin of the Maya. One linguistic researcher has pointed out an interesting fact concerning the story of the Tower of Babel in the Old Testament. While the Old Testament was supposedly written well before the Maya flourished, the Maya word Babel, or Babel, means confusion. Moreover, the Mayan expression meaning to speak in confusion is Babel then. What would the inclusion of Mayan words in the languages of Asia and Europe indicate? Is it possible to conclude that within the Mayan context there existed, in effect, a primitive language from which other world languages were derived? There is every indication that the early Maya were a tremendously religious people. Their energy in worship and in providing the trappings for worship was unflagging. More than this, religious participation seems to have been the keystone that bound social classes into a cooperative, functioning system. The Mayans' principal deity was undoubtedly Itzamna, the sky god. They believed that he was sent to Earth by... It would be nicer if the resolution was better. Hurab-Ku, the one god. According to most accounts, Itzamna came from the eastern sky. He was known as the great astrologist, lawgiver, and high priest. Mayans also believed that there were 4 chaos gods who controlled the world from the 4 compass points. Mayan ceremonies were directed towards appeasing many different gods. Hun-Ahawa, the god of death. Ixchel, the goddess of the moon. Kulkukan, the deity of the polar star. Kinich-Ahawa, the sun god. Mayans also greatly feared solar eclipses, often committing suicide rather than face the wrath of Zulab. Okay, class. I hope you are taking notes. There will be a quiz. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But someday, you will be tested on your knowledge of the Mayan people, as you may have learned from Tex Murphy, the Pandora Directive. So we got that, and that. Alright, what have we here?
Looks like a post-war map of Scotland. Nothing interesting in the cup. Still more paper scattered around. Doesn't appear to be too important. Whoa, now there's an antique. A real 16mm projector.
Well, we have a projector screen. I know we actually have
Movie
to do
screen.
something with this.
Sheesh, I haven't seen one of these since I was a kid. Paper scattered around appears to have fallen off the bookcase.
Ah. It's a film reel. Who would have expected this?
Reel of 16mm film. This reel looks at least 100 years old. Oh, Lord. Someone put some good holes in this guy. There's not much left of him, but I don't think this is Malloy, judging by the hair. Looks more like the guy in the photo downstairs. David Wright. The question is, who's responsible for this? And did they get Malloy, too?
Alright. Looks like David Wright is dead. Probably shot downstairs and then carried up here for some reason, which is an odd place to hide a body. But let us use this on this and check out this autopsy.
What is this? There's got to be some sort of practical joke. Wait a second. Whatever that thing is, it just moved. I remember some sort of alien autopsy film from years ago, but that alien was dead. This thing looks alive, but just barely. Seems to be in a lot of pain. Wonder what happened to him.
I forget if this film actually does have an ending, or if it just kind of loops forever. But now we have the real story behind the plot. Just the first step into the plot of the Pandora Directive. Was it murder? Was it a serial killer?
Uh-oh.
No.
He doesn't look like he's gonna make it.
It was aliens. See, if you can make a phone call while wearing a giant radioactive hood over your head,
I wonder if
you can
Malloy's
make a phone
disappearance
call
is
while
connected in
wearing
some way to the
a
contents of this
with
film
your cell
clip.
phone
Military
while wearing a face
personnel,
mask.
Live alien. If it wasn't a hoax, this thing could stir things up in a big way. Maybe I shouldn't be getting involved. This is the sort of thing that gets people killed. These casings are from government issue shells.
How does he know that one? Also, let us save our game, because I forget if we find ourselves in a little bit of trouble from here on. Aliens. And let's travel back home. And figure out what we're supposed to do next. We have the photo of Autotech. We just need to be able to examine it closely. But all the photo equipment has been removed from Rusty's funhouse, I believe. Alright, I'll try to figure out what I'm supposed to do next, but for now, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.
Most of these